All right, guys, so in this module, we're going to be talking about how do mortgage payments work, right? What's in a mortgage payment, how do we calculate a mortgage payment, and how to make a payment on a mortgage payment, right? So let's start to talking about what is a mortgage payment. So you get a mortgage, a payment is going to be based on interest rate, right? So whatever the interest rate that you've been giving will be based on the term. So interest rates usually come with a term. If it's a 2-year or a 5-year term, you could start off between a 1 all the way to a maximum of a 10-year term. And your mortgage payment is also based on something called the life of the mortgage, which is also called the amortization, right? Now, all of these play a big factor in what your mortgage payment, the amount is what's going to be. Now, what it means is if you continue to make this mortgage with this interest rate for a certain amortization of 25 years, that's how long it's going to take you to pay off that mortgage. So let's say you have a payment of $1,500 and with an interest rate of, let's say, for example, 3%. So if you consistently paid $1,500 for 25 years at a rate of 3%, it will take you 25 years to pay off that mortgage. So that's technically what mortgage payments are, right? So, and then we talked about it. The factors that kind of calculate a mortgage payment are interest rates, amortization, and term is really not that important in calculating a mortgage payment, but it's important because the interest rate that you get is tied to a term. And that's the reason why an interest rate is based on a certain term, because there's no such thing as 25-year terms in Canada. So there's always going to be a maximum term that you can get, and then you have to go and renew it every time. And then once again, your mortgage payments will change, right? So if you come up after 5 years, you made 5 years, and now you're renewing, your mortgage payments are now going to be based on the new rate that you've gone based on the remaining amortization. So let's say now it's 20 years left after 5 years, and your payments are going to change right off the bat, right? So that is what a mortgage payment is. And mortgage payments, how can we pay them? So like how often and consistency, right? So mortgage payments can be broken up as simple as monthly payments. So let's say the first of the month or at the end of the month. You could pay mortgage payments weekly, right? So you can pay them, there's 52 weeks in a year, so you can pay them 52 times a year. You can pay them bi-weekly, which is every second Friday, or you can even pay them semi-monthly, which is, let's say, the first of the month or the 15th of the month, or the 15th of the month and the end of the month, right? So those are the ways to make a payment. And how to decide what's best for you, right? So what I would say, decide what's best for you is based on your own budgeting, right? So let's say if you get paid monthly, maybe do monthly payments, right? If you get paid bi-weekly, maybe do bi-weekly payments. This will kind of help your budget stay in mind. And with bi-weekly, maybe it's not such a big cost in the beginning of the month. Maybe you split it half in the beginning, half at the end, or half in the middle with bi-weekly, and then it makes it a little bit more easier to absorb the payment. Really just depends on you. Now, there's a big misconception out there that people say that if you go with bi-weekly, you're paying it a lot sooner or quicker than the average, right? Because bi-weekly has 26 pay periods, and semi-monthly, which is also twice a month, only has 24, because some months have more weeks. So what happens with mortgage payments, if you're going with bi-weekly, we take the same monthly mortgage payment, we times that by 12, and we divide that by 26. So technically what's happening is your payments are now the same amount, but they've just kind of been separated over a certain time period. The only real way to pay off your mortgage quicker is by adding extra, right? We'll talk about that in a little bit of something called prepayment privileges and prepayment options. But when it comes down to mortgage payments, that is technically how mortgage payments work. Most of the time, you can either set up a bank account at the bank that you decide to get a mortgage from and the payments just come out of your account. Or if you decide to go with a bank that you don't have an account with, it's not necessary that you open an account with that bank. You can just use the same account that you currently have right now, get them to automatically withdraw it from your bank in whichever consistency that you want them to take it out, whether it's monthly, bi-weekly, or semi-monthly, and they can do that as well.